Hello and welcome to another edition of the Spike Ridgley Show here on WHS-TV. Our program brought to you all season long by Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Dave Sheets. With me is the manager of the Massillon Tiger baseball team, Spike Ridgley. Spike, welcome back.
Thanks, Dave. Your
Tigers are now 8-5 and riding a 4-game winning streak since we spoke on last week's show. In that 4-game winning streak, your team has wins over Firestone, Barberton, St. Vincent, St. Mary's, and McKinley. What have been the keys to getting back in the winning column this past week?
You know, really, we took a couple of tough, close losses the previous week, and we've been in every game that we've played in. So, you know, it's just a matter of you know, maybe getting a few more hits here and there with guys in scoring position, maybe limit the walks from a pitching standpoint and make our plays when we get a chance. But you know, you look back on them, you know, we got a great start from Sergo. You know, that helped us out on Friday night after, you know, 5 games in a row against Barberton, and then we played a pretty tough St. V team. But the key is, you know, to continue to work at doing the small things right, I think is what's the difference between maybe last week and the previous week. We had some opportunities the previous week to maybe close out innings and didn't. Or maybe have a big hit with men in scoring position and didn't. But sometimes that's the game too. So the kids have stayed positive, and we're starting to do those small things correctly, and that's what we're trying to continue to work in that direction.
On Monday night, you had a nice win over McKinley, and it was also Educator Day. Tell us about that event, and tell us more about that game.
Yeah, so that was a continuation from I think it was April 9th when the rain came in with the lightning, but. You know, they beat us over there, and Zach does a really good job with his team. He's a Federal League Coach of the Year the previous year, and you can see why. I mean, his kids play hard. They're buying into what he's selling them, and they've become a pretty tough team. So we wanted to make sure we try to bounce back from the loss over at their place. Like I said, it was a continuation. We were in a battle again. I mean, they had, at the end of the game, they had the bases loaded and their best hitter up, and we were up 3. I mean, they were a double in the gap away from extra innings. So they battled us hard. You know, tip your cap to them. But I was proud of our kids for making enough plays in the end to get us out of there with a win. You know, Nick Salogi came in, threw 4 innings for us, battled hard, had a few walks, but really battled for us. I had a guy starting at third that maybe hasn't done that as much, in Aiden Wilhelm. You know, when that inning was getting kind of sticky, it was bases loaded. You know, he made a play with a force out to second to close the door on that inning. That really helped us. And then, you know, I have to say, you know, Will Himes, he had 3 2-out RBIs last night. So that was really in the end the turning point to helping us win the game.
And then the activities going on with Educator Day?
Yeah. So really neat. So each of the seniors picked their most influential educator throughout their time here in the Massillon City School District. And it's just such a cool thing to see to be able to. The kids are excited about it because they get to give them a baseball that they sign and write a personalized note on. And then we put them in one of those nice clear containers to hold the ball, and they present that to the educator, and to see their reaction is just tremendous. You know, being an educator myself, I can't even imagine what that would be like to. You know, I was presented one time by Shane Rue through football with the jersey. He was #1, by the way. It's the smallest jersey they make, but we wore those to school, and then we were honored at the game. So that it's kind of a similar thing. To see the teachers' reactions, because we have so many good educators in our district, and to be able to honor those guys like that is really neat.
Your team is now a little more than halfway through the regular season. How would you summarize the first half of this season so far?
Great kids, phenomenal effort from a really solid group of kids. That there's a lot of togetherness, a lot of selflessness. It's a very fun group to be around. And we're just continuing to search for just another level of consistency. You know, I wouldn't say they're rookies, any of them anymore, being halfway through. We've started to eliminate a few of those mistakes. You know, at the end of the day, it's still baseball, and the ball still bounces, and you still got to go field it. So there's always going to be those quirky things that happen throughout time to time. But it's a team that is searching for more consistency, starting to find it a little bit. And we're not there yet, but we're working in that direction.
When we come back, we'll visit with a Tiger player. But first, this word from Reliable Heating and Cooling.
There was a time when 10 miles to the gallon was acceptable. Today's 40-plus mile-per-gallon cars weren't even in the rearview mirror back then. Of course, this Lennox air conditioner wasn't on the radar either. It's solar ready, the quietest, most energy-efficient air conditioner you can own. It's time to live in the now.
Call Reliable Heating and Cooling for the most advanced technology in heating and air conditioning. When you're ready to live in the now, call Reliable Heating and Cooling.
Lennox, air is life. Make it perfect.
Thanks to Reliable Heating and Cooling, and welcome back to the Spike Ridgley Show. The Tiger player joining us this week is senior infielder and outfielder Grady Spicocci. Grady, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Grady, at what age did you start playing baseball, and do you remember who taught you the game?
I started when I was 3. My dad taught me in the backyard, and through Massillon Youth Sports, playing t-ball for them, and my coach, Chad Jenkins, played with him when I was 5 to when I was 15.
Is baseball your favorite sport?
Yes, for sure.
Do you have a favorite major leaguer that you've followed since you've been young?
I would say Francisco Lindor.
Okay.
Yep.
And why him?
I love the way how he plays with swag, and he's always like smiling. He's always in a good mood. No matter if he has good game, bad game, makes an error, he's always smiling.
Grady, I'm sure you know Coach Ridgley called you a culture guy and a guy who supports his teammates, leads in a positive way no matter what. Have you embraced that role, and is that important to you?
Mm-hmm. It means a lot to me. Every game I'm faced with like a different challenge per game, whether it's like I had pitching opportunities, second base, pinch running, or just supporting my friends in general.
And finally, the team is about halfway through the regular season. From your viewpoint, how are things going?
I think things are going great. You know, we had a really young group. You know, we have guys in different spots, and we're starting to like pick it up now. You know, we're getting along with the season, and really flew by too. Those what was it, 15 games? Just flew by like that.
Right. Well, I wish you the very best the rest of the season. Good luck.
Thank you.
Grady Spicocci joining us here on the Spike Ridgley Show. We will have more of the program after this timeout.
Hello, and welcome to the Stark County Humane Society. Today we're going to give you a few pointers when considering adopting a new furry friend. All animals here at the Stark County Humane Society are spayed, neutered, microchipped, vaccinated, dewormed, and if old enough, heartworm tested for our canine friends. Adopters will receive a free exam within 2 weeks of adoption at local veterinarian hospitals. We encourage all adopters to take full advantage of this. A one-time adoption fee is required for your new furry friend. When you adopt, you get an awesome adoption packet that includes treats for your new fur baby and savings for you. But this is not where the cost of adoption stops. Did you know the average cost of an animal like a new puppy or kitten can cost up to $500 annually? This includes annual veterinarian visits, preventative care, and everyday supplies like crate, litter, food, toys. But I hope this doesn't scare you away. Adopting an animal is a huge responsibility and a commitment. Please take the time to consider the cost of adopting a new pet into your family today. I hope to see you soon at the Stark County Humane Society. Please visit our website or visit us on social media for more information.
And welcome back to the Spike Ridgley Show. Coach, we just spoke with senior infielder and outfielder Grady Spicocci in our last segment. You refer to Grady as a culture or a glue guy. Please elaborate on that.
Yeah, you know, he's right along with the rest of the senior class. They've been that way, and you know, it's a, like I said, it's a selfless group, and the leadership showing that selflessness starts with Grady, guys like Grady, guys like Vinny, and the rest of the seniors, because you know, Grady's willing to do whatever we need in order to be successful that day. If that means he's, you know, helping in the infield, outfield with one of the coaches, if that means, hey, you know, Grady, I need you to go to second base because, you know, I had to move this guy into pitch. He's willing to do that. Grady, I need you to pitch because we're playing 6 games this week. You know, he's willing to do that right at the drop of a hat. But at the same time, he's always supporting his teammates and being really positive. And guys like Vinny, you know, Sergo, you know, Hunter Manson, those guys that maybe aren't playing as much as you know, maybe they want to, they've been incredible leaders on the team. And really, honestly, the whole entire senior class has been the key to the selflessness on the team. And so we're not who we are as a group right now without them. And I got to figure that they're getting that support from home too. So it's really neat to see Really proud of those guys, and they really make it fun to be around the team.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, your Tigers are now 8-5. You're in the middle of another really busy week. From tonight through next Tuesday, you have games scheduled against Perry, Amherst Steel, Alliance, and Orrville. What can you tell us about some of those games coming up?
Yeah, Perry's. We knew Perry was coming last year when we played them. They had a young group last year, maybe similar to maybe how we are right now, with a couple of sprinkled veterans in there. But they've got a couple of guys that throw the balls in the mid 80s, touch low 90. We'll face a couple guys like that the next couple of days, and then Coach Whitaker does a really good job with the team. They're very fundamentally sound, and they've got a veteran group because the guys have been through it last year. So they'll come over here, they'll be ready, they'll be well coached, and it's going to be a battle for sure.
Now, you have another special event coming up this Saturday, April 27th. It's Youth Day. What exactly goes on there?
Yeah, so all the youth, from any youth kid in Massillon that plays baseball is invited to come to the game. They get in free that day. We give them a hot dog, pop, and chips, and they get recognized on the field before the game. So they'll come in, they wear their uniforms to the game. We line them up, for pregame and walk them across the infield out there and introduce them all. And that idea kind of came from, I remember when I was a kid, it used to be on opening day it was Little League at that time. Now it's MISA, it's Massillon Youth Sports. So, but at that time I remember being, maybe 8 to 10, somewhere 11 years old. And that morning we always got introduced at the Duck. Or it was the Agathon, dating myself. But yeah, so all the teams would be there with the coaches and all in uniform. And I just remember being so excited to see, because when you're at that age, if your parents don't take you, you don't ever see the varsity players. Right. So it was almost at that age like seeing like a major leaguer, because that was the first, a lot of times you see them once a year because you're playing too. So it's a neat day. It creates some excitement about baseball here in Massillon, and we can't wait to host that and have those kids around for that day for sure.
And finally, on a personal level, besides the joy of competition, what are the parts of this job that you enjoy and look forward to the most?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think my favorite part about the job, I love practice. The games are for the kids. I love teaching. I love practice. I love breaking down their swings, talking to them, and I love to watch them as they make the adjustments, and to see the trust that starts to build when they see the adjustments start to work. That's a lot of fun. And then watching the kids trying to help each other by taking suggestions, and you hear kind of some of the guys repeating some of the things that you said when you were coaching them. That's a big part, but I think my favorite part is probably the relationship building that happens. It's tough, it's a 6 to 8 week season. You spend all year long doing off-season stuff, and you get pretty close with the kids. And this will be a group that when these guys move on, you'll sit back, and it's a little bit of an emotional experience because they're not going to be there anymore next year. But the thing is, I remember Joe Gilhausen teaching me when he was my mentor, him and my dad. And once your coach, always your coach. So it's neat when the guys reach back out again once they've moved on. They start having kids, and they'll just send you a message here or there. Hey, coach, how you doing, man? Hey, I remember when we did this, and I'm using it now, being a dad. Those things mean the most to me, and I think that's what keeps bringing me back. Is being able to create those relationships with the kids and the families.
All right, thank you. As we wrap up another edition of the Spike Ridgley Show here on WHS-TV, we want to thank Spike along with senior infielder and outfielder Grady Spicocci on the program. Thanks again to our season-long sponsor, Reliable Heating and Cooling. I'm your host, Dave Sheets. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Tigers.